shoot, punch, Q, Ju, down, down. いきますよ。はっきり。
If you want to do sumo, you definitely have to try and settle down any sense of perfectionism that you may have. Because sumo has a lot of variation. There's certain exercises that we could do, but these exercises will all be tweaked to people's individual styles, their individual builds. But we're all trying to build the same leg strength, you know, the same agility, the same flexibility. So sumo, the exercises and the drills are very intense. They're really, really intense. So sumo breeds mental toughness. If you can do 100 shiko, you know, the sumo leg lifts where they, you know, if you could do 100 of those, then you're building mental toughness. Yeah. If you could make your brain keep you on task while you're doing these incredibly intense, grueling exercises, you could do anything. Yeah. And you know, my brother, he got really sick and he was bedridden and he lost the ability to walk for some months. And while he was sick and we were taking care of him, it was a really scary time, you know, for my family's life. And if it wasn't for sumo keeping me focused, keeping my mind strong, keeping me, you know, I was doing exercises when I felt stressed out or having panic attacks, because if I have control of my body, I have control of something. Yeah. And so while we were taking care of my brother, it was sumo that kept my head in the game. It was sumo that made sure that I, you know, didn't have a breakdown while I was trying to work, or, you know, I was also going to therapy at the time, so that helped. But no, sumo really does help with mental toughness for your body. There's not a whole lot of cardio if you don't want there to be, but it's beneficial. Flexibility is the main thing. You have to be very flexible to do sumo, and mainly for injury prevention, and, you know, whenever you're trying to move around, you know, with your knees bent, staying as low as possible, it really helps. Yeah. My favorite thing about sumo, especially in the US, is the community and the camaraderie. It's such a small, insular community. Everyone knows each other, even on an international level. You know, we get to rub elbows with a lot of these people, and some of the professionals, you know, we've met some former professionals, and that's like meeting Michael Jackson to me. You know, I'm like, oh my God, I watched you beat that one guy and it was so cool. So it's an easy community to meet people and to rub elbows with. You know, in any other sport they might seem unreachable or unattainable, but in sumo it's like, oh yeah, you're interested in sumo, me too. And it's like, yeah, but you're you. Whenever I was about, when I was in my 20s, you know, I used to drink whiskey with my buddy Brian, and we'd stay up till 3 a.m. And then we saw, it was the European Sumo Championships, and it was on like ESPN 8 or something like that. And so we were just standing there, like just drinking whiskey, just like mesmerized. We're like, dude. And so anytime it would come on, or we saw it, you know, on like, and keep in mind this is late 90s, early 2000s, you know. So we would just change the channel to find sumo if we could find it. It was really far and few between, you know. Yeah. Fast forward to when I was about 38. Yeah, I was about 38 years old. And I had quit drinking, you know, I was trying to get healthier. At the time, I weighed 530 pounds. And I started watching, I'm a nerd, I'm a huge weeb, so I watched a lot of anime. And I found one called Hinomaru Sumo. And it's about this really short high school kid that wants to be a pro sumo wrestler, but he doesn't meet the height requirement, so he has to try and find like a back door. After watching that, I got really stoked. You know, in anime, whatever the anime is about, they always make that thing sound like the coolest, most awesome thing in the world, and you want to try it. Yeah. So I wanted to do sumo. And so I started, you know, it was my hyper focus of the week. So I went on YouTube, I went all over the place, and I found pro sumo. And I started watching, luckily it was right during a pro sumo tournament. So I started watching these big, large dudes doing these incredible feats of athleticism and agility. I mean, guys that like had builds like me at the time, or even now, were like just, you know, jumping around, like doing incredible, like, you know, lifting their legs almost like in a 180, kind of like flexibility. They're the most flexible, strongest, like most athletic, like beings that I'd ever seen. Yeah. And they were built like me. I was like, that is so cool. You know, I've lived here off and on since 2013, and it's just like, this is home. I just love it here. And it's got like, the vibes. You know, you would expect to find something as weird and obscure as sumo in a place like Denton. You know, so it just made so much sense.